car started. We are getting our bagel in creatine. I forgot, I haven't taken my creatine this morning, so I should probably go do that. I had a bad dream last night, and I'm not feeling it. Just ate my bagel, feeling good. Mentally, I'm not doing great. I had a bad dream last night, and it's probably gonna haunt me for the rest of the week. So that's really cool. But it's all in my head at the end of the day. None of it is real. It's something that I am turning into a reality by believing it. The best thing I can do, tell myself it wasn't real, ignore it, live on with my day, and pretend it never happened. Even though I probably shouldn't pretend it never happened, I should at least acknowledge it. About to head to work, not sure what it'll bring us today, but we'll find out, and I'll show you guys what we do. We believe we found the connection issue on the E30. The spark plugs are non-resistor type. So we got new spark plugs, the correct ones that have a resistor. Gonna be putting those in. Hopefully that fixes the connection issue. Test it after this and find out. Change out the spark plugs with resistor type spark plugs. I'm pretty sure it was NGK BKR6E. Those have the resistors. The ones that he had were non-resistor type. So we got those changed out. I've been connected to it for 10 minutes straight. Beforehand, we could barely stay connected for 3 to 1 minute. So I'm pretty sure we fixed the issue, which is the biggest feeling ever. I feel so accomplished for doing that, but yeah, all fixed. Just got the G35 loaded up on the dyno. It's a LS swap G35 with a 6-liter T56 transmission and 3.5 rear gear. Should be a pretty fun car to tune. See how it does, see what power it makes. I still gotta roll it on the dyno and then get these straps tight, but yeah. Got my wideband all hooked up. That's already all set, so pretty much just roll it on the dyno and then wide open throttle pulls since the customer's our next door shop. He already did all the MAF cal for me, so I'll just make sure it's all good with my wideband and then done. Yeah. Good morning, world. It is very cold out. I already took my creatine, so that's good. I got my lunch. I woke up an hour earlier today. I'm going into work an hour earlier. I have to go run over to a friend's shop, get a tune read for them, and then possibly tune that later in the week or next week or something, so. But yeah, about to go do that and then head to work. So I just did the first pull. I was just cruising on the dyno, just trying to make sure all the MAF cal's data was right. And the rear strap broke on me. The strap melted right in half. The rest of the strap is inside this insulation. It heated up the insulation so much that it still melted the strap. So that's really cool. It was really scary, I'm not gonna lie to you. The whole car shifted, but thankfully everything was okay and it didn't do any damage or anything like that. So on the bright side, everything's fine. I have another strap. I was able to grab the other side. Beforehand it was on the lower control arm. Now it's on the subframe. It's not touching the exhaust at all anymore. So usually in the past I've been trying to grab the exact same spots on both sides. I tried to do that this time and I had the insulation on the strap just in case it was touching the exhaust, and it was. And it still heated up the strap enough to melt the strap. So I had to grab it now on the subframe on the driver's side and the lower control arm on the passenger side. My contingency strap is on the diff. So should be all good now. Already rolled it on the dyno, got it tightened down. So we'll see how it does. Just got done with the first wide open throttle pull. It made 335 to the wheel and 401 to the crank. This is pretty max timing for the most part, or safe max timing, and also very rich, like almost 8% too rich. The reason for that is just worst case scenario, if it does go a hair lean, at least it's still within the range I want it to be. So Probably gonna take 4% out, see how it does, make sure the math cal and everything, the EQ ratio is all good, and then see where we go from there. Just got out of work. I just went to my therapy appointment. Today I started therapy because I've accepted that I need help. And one of the things that we talked about was that I probably have a pretty big fear and an abandonment issue. And I think it's important to recognize that, understand it, and accept that. It's hard to accept because I don't want to. I've been suppressing my emotions for so long that it's in a way built up, and it's been very hard to try to go through those emotions because I've suppressed them for so long that they are now such large emotions. Tonight, I'm playing Outlast Trials again. If you have a group of friends that all can download Outlast Trials, I would highly recommend it. It's a very fun game. It's a horror video game, but it's very fun to play with friends because you get some of the coolest reactions out of people. I'm excited for that. And Mom's making gyros, if I said that correctly. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I'm excited. Don't have a great day. Make it a great day. So I don't remember if I told you guys or not. The 2019 Silverado I'm working on, we believe we found the communication issue between the ECM and the TCM. The previous shop that did the camshaft and the heads and everything else, they tore it down to a short block. When they tried to put it back together, they attached the ground to the driver's side rear head, and it looks like it broke when they did that. So they tried to fix it with heat shrink, and it was still broken. The only thing that was holding the ground onto the eyelet of the ground was heat shrink. It wasn't even making electrical connection at all. So today, we're gonna be putting a ground strap on that, testing that. Hopefully that fixes our issue, because we've been trying to deal with this issue for weeks. We haven't been able to find out why it was doing what it is, but we're pretty confident that it was the ground, so we're placing that today. See where we go from there. I know Jake was planning on tuning the Fox Body Mustang and then the E30. I don't know if he plans on doing that today or not, but I know that's next up on the list for tuning, so we'll see where that goes. I'm currently at the gym. I got a haircut. I had a friend do it. I've been meaning to cut my hair for a while, but I also cut it like once a year, so I could care less. But I like my haircut. It's pretty nice. I like the style of it. I'm at the gym. About to go work out, get a pump. I hate the IRS, honestly. I don't know why I'm getting punished for working for the government, let alone giving them my money, but, you know, whatever. I have my own personal opinions, but I probably can't share those, so. Mentally, today has been horrible, for a lot of different reasons, but mainly due to the IRS. That's the main one. That's the main reason that today has been so bad. When you get paid $10 a frickin' hour, and it's $7 an hour after gas money, you know, and you're 1099, so you just get even more screwed. You know, it's pretty awesome when taxes come around and you can't do anything except for just get absolutely destroyed. But yeah, so I don't know. Been thinking about quitting my job. I won't even lie. I'm just gonna put it out there. I've straight up been thinking about it. I hate it. I love everything about the job, but I just don't get paid enough to even care anymore. And it's really starting to bother me because I can't do anything in my life anymore without money. And that is the only thing that's holding me back at this point. And the only reason I'm not getting paid more is because of my job. So I've been putting a lot of thought into quitting, or at least going down to only 1 day a week, because I can't afford to live like this anymore. I am completely miserable and I hate everything about it. So
I just got back from the gym. I mentioned earlier I kind of want to quit my job due to money. And although that's true, I have a really strong passion for my job. I don't want to quit my job, but I'm having a hard time finding my self-worth at my job. It doesn't feel like I'm worth anything. And the people that I learned to tune through mentioned that no one should be getting paid as little as I am for what I'm doing. And I think that's important to understand. I have a big problem with self-worth and self-image. I'll make a lot of my decisions based off of what other people will think about me. And I've mentioned this in another video. But I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like I should find another job. Find something that pays more. I would love to continue tuning cars. I'm having a difficult time proving to myself that I should stay where I'm at or I should leave. I don't want to leave because I love everything that I do at my job. Like I've said, I don't get paid enough to put my best mind at work. At my job, I'm more worried about getting things done in a timely manner because of how little I am paid. I feel like I'm in a sinking boat, and the longer I stay, the more I'm going to be trapped. The problem I have though is everywhere I'm applying to, mechanic jobs, and anywhere at all, no one wants to hire someone without experience. So I've been telling myself that I've been doing this job to get experience. And although that is true, I can barely live anymore. I don't get paid enough to even do anything fun or do anything in my free time other than come home and wait to go to work the next day. I don't think anyone should feel that they're unworthy or that they don't matter enough. It's hard to leave something you love because some days it gives you a great feeling and other days it's a horrible feeling. And if you enjoy it enough, you like to tell yourself that you want to stay. But sometimes it's hard to stay in something that causes you so much pain. And it's hard for me to try to imagine me doing something else because I've gone to school for this and I've spent so much time and effort learning everything that I have to get to where I am, for me to get paid as much as I am. So I've really been having second thoughts about my job and what I want to do. And I've been having multiple conversations with multiple different people about it, and I don't know what to do anymore. I don't expect any of you guys to give me an awesome answer about what I should do or something. I do expect to find my own self-worth. And right now I do not feel worthy at my job. I don't know how to get around that. I knew going into this job that I would not get paid very well the first year, and it's been about a year and a month. But everything about this job is my passion. I have a very deep passion for cars and automotive, specifically high performance and making cars fast and fun and being able to do all the cool stuff to cars. But like I've said, I don't know what to do anymore. I feel so lost, and I feel like I've lost myself working at this job to the point where I feel stuck. I don't want to feel stuck, and I'm trying to find ways around that will help me in the long run. But I also have a fear that if I leave now, that I'll be like Walter White when he left his company way too early on before they became successful. So I don't know. It's been a really rough year for a lot of different reasons. Every single one of you matter. And if you're having a hard time finding something to be passionate about, I understand the feeling, and you're not alone. I used to work at a dealership, a Ford dealership. And I left that job for a plethora of reasons. One, I was being treated fairly poorly. And I wasn't getting paid enough. ironically, I'm getting paid worse now. And when I left that job, I told myself that I would never allow myself to be treated that way again. In the way that I feel like I have no worth. Life's hard. Everything about it is hard. If you're young, you'll learn that. And if you're old, you know that. And it does not get easier. The feelings get easier, but life does not get easier. At least for me, it hasn't. Every aspect of my life has gone downhill since I've taken on this job. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've felt unworthy ever since I've taken on this job. Sometimes I wonder if we're given a path for a reason, or if we just make our own decisions and we have our own outcomes for our own choices. There's a verse in the Bible, Luke 8, where Jesus said that we're going to cross the sea. And as those disciples of his that did not know him very well and did not know that he was Jesus start going across the sea, they encounter a great storm. And all of the people on the boat are panicking and they're struggling. And they wake up Jesus and they say, "Rabbi, don't you care that we're about to die? Or don't you care that we're going through this storm?" And Jesus says, "You have no faith." That Bible verse really resonates with me, because I feel like I have no faith in myself and what I promised myself. Because at the beginning, Jesus said we're going to cross to the other side. And the disciples were so focused on the storm, the struggle, the bad parts of the journey that they never even considered that they're going to get there. Sometimes life's a really big struggle. And we focus more on the struggle than we do on the overall outcome. The struggle is going to be hard, but sometimes the struggle is what makes us who we need to be to get to where we want to be. So I've been trying to stick it through and prove to myself that things will get better over time. But it feels like they're not getting better. I think it's important to look at that Bible verse and kind of look at our own lives. We're going to go through a lot of struggles. There's going to be ups and downs and lefts and right, and we're going to get misguided off of our path. I think the biggest struggle for me is not knowing what my path is going to be. I think I mentioned earlier that my therapist said that I have a pretty big issue with fear, and I believe I do. I've lived most of my life out of fear. If you tell me to go sit in a corner and stay there, I'll sit in the corner and I'll stay there until you tell me to move. Because I fear what will happen if I don't. And I've been trying to work on that because I don't like living my life in fear. I think a lot of us live in fear. And a lot of us are afraid of what other people will think of us or what other people will say. But sometimes other people's opinions don't matter. Sometimes they do. You know, when your best friend tells you to not order something from McDonald's because they've had it before and it's awful. Maybe you shouldn't order it from McDonald's if they say it's awful. But who knows? Maybe that food's your favorite and it's not their cup of tea. We all have our own path. And all of us have very different lives and have gone through very different struggles. But what are you going to make of the struggle? Are you going to use it as an excuse, or are you going to use it as motivation to get through it? To prove to everyone else. You don't even need to prove to anyone. You need to focus on yourself, but to prove to yourself that that struggle was worth it. I love every single one of you guys. Good night.